Hi, guys. Coleman by 95.7. And today I'm joined by probably the most creatively reinventive, sports entertainer of our time. But today he comes to us as the lead singer and frontman of Fozzy, who will be in New Orleans April 28th at Southport Hall. It's the Save the World tour, correct?
That's correct. We're saving the world one show at a time, Chris.
All right. I'm joined by Chris Jericho. So, Chris, what are we saving the world from?
Well, I think from just mediocrity and boredom, man. I think I always was thinking that that would be a cool name for a tour, the Save the World Tour, because it's always the Something World Tour, Save the World Tour. And I think coming out of the lockdown and the pandemic and all that sort of thing, people are ready to rock and roll again. We just finished the first leg of the Save the World Tour, and it was amazing to see how many people were at the shows, and everyone's just waiting and enjoying being out again. So I think that's basically what it is. And we're excited to play New Orleans. It's a great rock and roll town. It's a great Chris Jericho town. And it's the perfect place for us to start the second leg of the tour in New Orleans.
Well, have you felt a difference in energy from when you toured prior to the whole COVID and there was 2 years of absolute nothing? Like, is there a difference in the energy? Can you feel it? Is it tangible?
There is. I mean, we toured in the fall, in September and October, and people were still a little bit hesitant.
All right.
And rightfully so. I think now everyone is really, really excited, and they're kind of waiting to see. People are buying tickets in, the last week before the show, the last couple days even before the show, because I think people are like, is the band actually coming, or is there going to be Murder Hornets coming after us? What's the next thing? And I think when people realize that there is no next thing and everything's pretty much cool now, it just makes for a better gig. And you know, people always have fun at a Fozzy show because we always, you know, have a party vibe about us, but I think more so than ever because of the previous 2 years. So it's been really cool. And during the first leg of the tour, Judas went gold, 500,000 units sold. And I Still Burn, our new single, was the number one most added song on rock radio. So there's a lot of cool momentum for the band as well. That heads right into this show in New Orleans in the second leg of the tour.
I'm glad you bring up Burn. I saw the video, and Grant, your drummer, right? He has this big ass tattoo on his chest.
He does.
Yeah, yes, is that the same exact tattoo that you have, or do all the band members have that same exact tattoo? Because it looks simple. No,
we're not connected by tattoos yet. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Grant just joined the band about 3 or 4 months ago. He brings a lot of youthful energy to him. He plays with his shirt off, man. You got to be in good shape for that, right?
So you'll be taking your shirt off then at Southport Hall, apparently.
I just might.
So a couple of misconceptions that I want to clear up. I'm glad I have you here because I want to ask the man himself a bunch of misconceptions that I had when I first heard about Fozzy 20 years ago, and I'm quite sure you get this a lot. But the name Fozzy, when I first heard it, of course, I equated it to the Muppet, and I thought it was meant to suggest that the band was like a satirical parody gimmick band, sort of like Tenacious D or Lonely Island or Steel Panther, but that's not the case at all, is it?
Well, it did kind of start that way. I mean, but like you mentioned, that was 20 years prior, and the band actually started as Fozzy Osbourne. And that's where the name Fozzy came from. And then over the years, we dropped the Osbourne and kept Fozzy. And the funny thing about it is, it's just our name now. You know, like I was just listening to the new Def Leppard song a couple minutes ago, and it's like, just think about that name, Def Leppard. That is a stupid name. Metallica is a stupid name. Kiss, Halloween, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Black Eyed Peas. When you take these names out of context, Duran Duran, like, what does that even mean? And then you just use the name, and Fozzy has just become, it's a really great name because it's super easy to chant. Every show we ever do, I don't care if we're opening for Iron Maiden or Nickelback or Avenged Sevenfold or doing our own shows, everybody's chanting Fozzy, Fozzy.
So you don't see there ever being a Fozzy Osbourne, Fozzy.
You can't really do that, and plus that's a parody name, right? That you probably wouldn't want to use. But then again, you've got the Eagles of death metal as well. So a name is just a name, right? And then it becomes what's the music behind it. Now we have 7 consecutive top 30 singles. We are a radio band, which is amazing. I never thought we would become a radio band. I never thought rock radio still mattered until we started getting played on rock radio. Then we realized how important it was to get that support. And that's what really put the band through the roof, is being played on radio all across the country. So it really works for us now. And like I said, it started out as kind of a weird name, but now it's our name, and it's just synonymous with all these great songs that we have and all the support we're getting from great stations such as yourself.
All right. So another misconception that I had when I first heard of Ozzy, I thought it was your pet project. I thought that Ozzy was your idea and you scouted out band members because it was just something you wanted to do. But once again, it wasn't really you. It was Rich, right? That brought the band together. How did that work out?
It was Rich Ward and I have been partners for 22 odd years.
Okay.
And, I've been playing in bands since I was 13 years old. When I was a kid, I wanted to be in a rock band and I wanted to be a wrestler. Those are the two things that I really focused on. And I wanted to put together a band. I was always recording my own demos and, playing little shows live and that sort of thing. But I wanted to take it to the next level. And I just happened to meet Rich backstage in San Antonio at a show. And that's where it all started in 1999. And we're kindred spirits. We just hit it off right out of the gate and had similar tastes in music. And over the years, we just really created this synergy and this chemistry. And especially over the last 10 years, the band has really come into its own. We're the best we've ever been. The tours we've been doing have been the biggest we've ever done. And like I mentioned, the songs have gotten the most focus. I mean, having a gold record is not something that you can sneeze at. I don't care what people think of me or what people think of the band. To sell 500,000 copies of anything in this day and age shows that there is a market for us. Because like you mentioned, any band has a gimmick. Kiss wears paint and Slipknot wears masks. And, you mentioned Tenacious D. I mean, that's a great rock and roll band. Yeah. Jack Black is a great singer. And so I think the gimmick lasts for as long as the first song. And then either it's good music or bad music. If Slipknot didn't connect with their music, nobody would care that they wore masks.
Right.
Same with Kiss. Same with, you name any band on the planet, there's some kind of a gimmick behind it. Our gimmick, is the fact that Chris Jericho is a wrestler as well. Well, great. Who cares? Is the music good? Is the band good? Can he sing? And when people find out all those answers are yes, then it really doesn't matter. I could be a butcher, baker, candlestick maker. The bottom line is that Fozzy's a great rock and roll band with some great songs and puts on a great live performance. And that's all that matters.
Have you ever met a Fozzy fan that literally does not know you from the wrestling world at all? Have you ever?
Yeah. There's a ton of Fozzy fans who might know a little bit about wrestling or might know that I'm in the business, but don't care. We meet a lot of our fans are like, don't watch wrestling, right. Don't really care, and then that's the way it should be. I mean, there's a gray area of people that watch both. And there's a gray area of some people that just know Chris Jericho from wrestling and don't care about Fozzy. There's the other area of people that are Fozzy fans that don't care about wrestling. And that's the way it should be. This has never been promoted as a wrestling band or a Chris Jericho side project, like you mentioned. From the start, we created this band to have 5 stars, 5 rock and roll stars. And members come and go, but Rich and I and Billy Gray have been there basically from the start. And PJ, our bass player, and Grant, our drummer, have been with us for a shorter time, but they fit perfectly. And I would put our band up against any rock and roll band on the planet, and we've done that. We've played with Iron Maiden, we've played with Metallica, and we've played with, the Shinedowns of the world and the Avenged Sevenfolds. And we always get a great reaction, and we're building our band and our shows accordingly. So it's been really cool to see the growth of the band and to see our hardcore fans that have been with us from the beginning and seeing all the new fans that have been joining us over the last few years.
All right. So you have 7 studio albums and 1 live album, right? Is that correct?
Right. Yes.
All right.
That's right. Yeah.
So my next question is, where the hell do you find the time and the energy to put all this together? Like the video qualities that you have from especially the last few videos that you put out. Sure. I see you on TV twice a week. Every time I go to YouTube, there's a Chris Jericho podcast snippet right there. Like, where do you find the time? Where do you find the energy? And what's your secret? How can I get some of that?
Well, like I said, man, it's just passion. It's a passion and following your dreams. I mean, this is what I always wanted to do, like I said earlier. So when both of these dreams came true due to the hard work that I put into it and working with very talented people and a little bit of luck and a little tenacity, you can't let that go. So I find the time because that's what I do. It's what my job is. There is no finding time. It's just making sure that everything I do is quality, and making sure that everything I do is what I really want to be doing. And if, you know, the old adage, if you do something and you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. I'm the perfect example of that. So yes, there's a lot of work that you have to do. Yes, there's a lot of Zoom calls and, you know, interviews and in studios, but listen, I got to do it. We're coming to New Orleans. If there's people that don't know we're coming or don't know exactly, you know, what the band is, but are interested, then it's my job to promote the show and let everyone know who wants to come that we're going to be in town. And I do that for every show on the tour. You know, one show times 30, that's 30 interviews and 30 in studios and 30 Twitters and 30 Instagrams and 30 Facebooks, and times that by all the tours we do over the course of a year. It's just, the job has to get done. Yeah. And every time I do things like this, people go, do you know how many bands don't want to promote their show or don't want to promote their album? And the answer is, I do know how many bands don't want to. And that's why I do it, because we have to. And if no one else wants to, and I do, it's just better for Fozzy and better for me.
All right, cool. And like you said, you will be coming to New Orleans April 28th at Southport Hall. It's the Save the World Tour. Fozzy, Chris Jericho. One last question. Maybe I missed it, but I always had this dream collaboration. You listed off a lot of people. I want to see you work with Moongoose McQueen just once.
He died in a bizarre gardening accident.
Oh, he did. Oh, sorry to hear that.
Very tragic event. Yeah. But everything we do is in honor of good old Moongoose.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Chris Jericho. I'm going to let you get to it.
All right, man. We're excited. Yeah. April 28th.
Oh, by the way, can you bring some of the bubbly down here with you? I've been trying to find some. I went online looking for it.
I think it's sold out, man. It's all sold out. So we'll just drink some vodka and beer instead. It's going to be a rock and roll party in New Orleans on April 28th, man. We're excited to come back to town, and thank you, man.
All right. Thank you, Chris. All right. Thank you.
All right, brother.